It's the Ownage, bitches.
Getting old in the game and you don't know what to do. That was pretty homosexual. Instead the crime just come to you too. The Ownage, bitches, the Ownage. In any game it gets fairly tough. I don't use any sheets. I'ma show I teach you the stuff. I fucking pounded everyone. Welcome to the poundage.
What's up, bitches, and welcome to the Ownage show. So now that you have a computer and the basic accessories ready to pound, you probably think that you're ready to jump right into the game and own all the people. Well, unfortunately for you, bitches, this is not the case. You must have forgotten about the very important, very homosexual settings and configurations of the Counter-Strikes. Now I know exactly what you're thinking, bitches. It's been one homosexual episode right after the other. When are we going to get into the hardcore poundage tactics? Well, bitches, I'll tell you when we're gonna get into the hardcore poundage tactics. That'll be an episode about suck me lots. If you didn't already know by now, every episode contains hardcore poundage tactics, bitches. So why don't you just sit back, relax, and let my most poundage sensual voice guide you through the settings and configurations, bitches.
Hey bitches, you're fucking gay, bitches.
Alright, bitches, this is the moment that you've been waiting a very long time for. Today is the day where you'll finally be able to launch the games for the very first times. Knowing this information already has probably made you very excited, bitches. But do be careful, you don't want to get too excited and make a mess. At least, not yet, bitches. Save that for the Poundage After Dark stream. But before we do get into starting the game for the very first times, there is one setting that you're going to want to have to change. Right click the Counter-Strikes and then click Properties. Then go down until you see Set Launch Options. Type the command -novid into the box and then click OK. The command that we just typed in will allow us to bypass the intro video that plays every time that you launch Counter-Strike, bitches. This saves valuable time and allows us to get into the poundage very quickly. Alright, bitches, the moment that you've been waiting for is finally here. Place your hand on the mouse, take a deep breath, and then start the Counter-Strike Global Offensives. Alright, bitches, we've just been transported into the Counter-Strike main menu. Try to contain your excitement, bitches. I know it can be very overwhelming the very first times. Now sadly, we are not ready to play just yet, but do take a moment to understand how much poundage started right here on this very screen. Oh yes, bitches, the poundage is coming. Once you settle down from the overwhelming sensations of the main menus, we are going to get into setting up the game. First, we'll start off with the video settings. Click Options and then Video Settings. Here we can see all the video settings for the Counter-Strikes. Now right away you might be thinking that something is wrong. Why is the brightness turned all the way down to a low setting? The real pros know exactly what's going on here. Set this one to 1.6 for maximum brightness, bitches. Color mode should of course, bitches, be set to the computer monitor. Now here's a pro tip for you right now. You can actually see more of the game if you use the widescreen, bitches. Set this one to the widescreen so you can see all of the game, bitches. I recommend setting the resolution to the maximum that your monitor supports. You're gonna wanna have to see the poundage very clearly. Display mode should be on full poundage, bitches. Laptop power savings. Who plays video games on a laptop, bitches? Is someone really that stupid? So now we've reached the advanced video options. If you have a poundage computer just like I do, put all these settings to the maximums. Also be sure to disable the vertical sync and motion blur, bitches. Some people will try to argue that putting all these settings to the maximums will prevent the poundage from being delivered. But this is because they have a very bad non-poundage computer. If you do have a high refresh rate monitor like the almighty BenQ, you might want to ensure that you're running it at the glorious 144Hz refresh rate bitches. This can be found in your graphics settings. Alright bitches, so now we move on to the audio settings. The audio settings are very important because they allow you to hear things in the game, such as the footsteps, bomb defusing, and also for voice communication bitches. The settings that you're gonna want to have to change right away are the music settings bitches. I do keep these on, but I set them to a very low level. I do not want the music in the game to interfere with the normal poundage procedure bitches. Ensure that your speaker configuration is set to the headphones. Now bitches, VoIP volume is actually a very excellent setting that allows you to configure how loud the other people in the game are. Sometimes these people, let me tell you, talk so much it's not even funny. If they are talking with the default setting, you cannot hear anything within the game. This is a disadvantage bitches. What you're gonna want to have to do is set it to something lower so you can separate their voice and the sounds within the game. I have mine set to about halfway bitches. Enable voice should be set to press to use the mic. Okay, so now we move on to the game settings. There are very many things here that we're going to have to change. The first setting in our long list of settings is Enable Game Instructor Messages. This setting allows for the so-called pro tips that show up while you're trying to play the game. But we all know the only person who needs to give you the pro tips is the almighty poundage that is me. Set this one to disabled. Next is the acceptable matchmaking ping. If you don't want to play with the laggy people, put this one to something under 60 bitches. Steam notification location is the location notification for Steam, of course. Okay bitches, now we have the enabled developer console. We are going to need this one later on for our unknown poundage commands, so you're gonna want to have to enable that right now. Calendar time format, well, the military pounds 24 hours a day bitches. The HUD, if you didn't already know, stands up for heads up display. These are the things that appear on your screen during your gameplay, such as the crosshair, amount of ammo that you got, as well your health bitches. There are very many types of crosshair styles to choose from, but I prefer and recommend the classic static. You can also choose classic dynamic as well bitches. It's all up to you. Static keeps your crosshair from moving when you shoot, while dynamic makes it move bitches. The color of the crosshair can also be changed here. I recommend light blue or the default green. My HUD scale is set to just below 1. HUD color should be set to default, and the HUD background alpha should be set to 0.5. Put the health and ammo style to default bitches. The bomb HUD position is set to show under the radar, because this is what I'm used to looking at from the old days bitches. The mini scoreboard, if you didn't already know, can show you many things bitches. It can show you how many players are playing, what their stupid avatars look like, and if they're alive or not bitches. You can change this one to however you like. Team options controls your clan name settings within the game. I will leave these one all up to you because they are personal preference and do not accept any poundage. The only setting under the spectator and scoreboard options that you should actually be concerned about is the automatic killer replay bitches. I would set this one to no, as the replays are so very stupid bitches. The settings under the item options are very important bitches, especially the switch weapon on pickup setting. Keep this one set to no. View model position, classic poundage is best poundage. Always show inventory is a very stupid option. Why wouldn't you always want to see what poundage items you have? Set this one to yes bitches. I recommend that you set the close buy menu at the purchase to no, as normally you buy a few items at the same time. The open buy menu with the use key is all up to you bitches. I open the buy menu with the B button bitches. Okay, so now we move on to the radar options. The radar is a very important tool in your unknown box of poundage. It can tell you what's going on in many other parts of the map. It can show things such as teammates, enemies, and things like the bomb bishes. Radar HUD size actually changes the size of the radar. I recommend that you make it a little bit bigger and set it to 1.15 bishes. Rotate the radar, yes. The radar map zoom setting changes how much of the map is shown inside the radar. We do want to see more of the map on the radar, so it can be more helpful to us bishes. So change this to 0.7. Toggle shape with the scoreboard, yes. Twitch TV connection is not important bishes. Finally, we've reached the keyboard and mouse settings. Unless you're severely autistic, you do not want to reverse your mouse bishes. Leave this one set to off. Ensure that duck and walk mode are both set to hold. Now bishes, mouse sensitivity is a very complex subject. Finding the right mouse sensitivity depends on many different factors such as personal preference, type of mouse, and DPI settings. Generally, you would want a low sensitivity so you can move around very accurately. Alright bishes, this setting is actually very important. Ensure that the raw input is set to on and the mouse acceleration is turned off bishes. We will be going over the mouse and mouse settings in more details in the next episode. Yes bishes, the mouse is so important that it requires its own episode. Alright bishes, so here is some gayness right here. The network rates inside of Counter-Strikes are purposely set incorrectly. The reason that they are set incorrectly is to keep as many players from becoming the poundish as possible. If everyone was the poundish, then who would the poundish players pound? It's a good question bishes. We are going to change these default network settings so that you can get an unfair advantage within the game. These settings have been passed down to all the professional homosexual motherfuckers since ancient poundish times. So as long as your developer console is still enabled, we can begin bishes. You can open the command window by pressing the very wavy, very squiggly line button, which is normally located below the escape key. Type the command into your console exactly how I'm doing it bishes. Once the commands are all typed in one at a time, you will be ready bishes. Now bishes, every player's configuration is not complete without the almighty Ownage command. Every time you press the button, a wave of sensual poundage is felt by your enemies. This is best used in combination with when you just own someone very hard and you want to extend the Ownage just a little bit more bishes. It's the Ownage bishes. And that's how it's done. Alright bishes, that's it for today. You hardcore pounded all those settings deep within the Counter-Strike's bishes. Now for the next episode bishes, we will be taking a look at the settings and configurations that are going on with the mouse. It is very important that you find the right sensitivity that helps you move and feel the poundage very sexually bishes. I'll see you next time bishes. You use the internet bishes? Don't forget to visit my website, theownagebishes.com.
I can't believe people do this for fun, to waste their time. Wow, how dumb. I hate escaping with the game. Thinking about that guy being lame. Why do people resort to hacks? There's much better things to do than that.
Everyone please come say with me, it's called Skills for Free. That guy hacks. Oh, how'd he know he's there? He has to be hacking, it's very unfair. That guy hacks.
I don't care what you say.
Check his Steam ID, there's no way he's that good, much better than me.